We're going to be going through something to do with the tap essay in this video. So we showed the basic tap essay where you can just click. As you click on each page, you move to the next one. In this video, we're going to show you how to change screens. So it's not just clicking to go to the next screen, but there's many other ways to go to the next screen. This is going to be really important for most of you because you might want to have some different interactions and you don't want, when you click, it goes to the next screen in the tap essay. So just so you can get a feel for it, this is the tap essay, and you click and we go through 1 to 5. I'm going to show you a few different ways and talk you through a few different techniques here. But let's say the first way you want to get to the next page here is you want to treat this rectangle area like a hotspot. So you put your mouse in here and you click, and then you'll go to page 2. At the moment, you can click anywhere and you go to page 2, so we'll need to get rid of that functionality, and that's the whole point of this video. So what we're going to be doing in the rest of the video, though, just so you know, is we're going to show you how to click inside of here to go to the next screen, how then to move your mouse to the left of here to go to the next screen, and then page 3 will start moving to the right, and then once page 3 text has gone off the screen, we'll go to page 4. So there's a few different ways to show you how to advance screens, so you can get a good feel for it. Okay, so first off, this is the tap essay template. So what I'm going to be doing is I need to actually disable us moving to the next screen in mouse pressed. So notice here that in the mouse press function that you've been introduced to, every time we press the mouse, we move to the next screen. So I'm actually going to disable that by commenting it out. So this was just a basic setup. We can move to screens in lots of different ways that you'll see in a second. So the first way we want to move to the next screen is by clicking inside of this hotspot, which is a rectangle. And what we've done is we've set up the coordinates and the width and the height of the rectangle as variables. And you can see we're using these variables inside of this rectangle here. So this is going to be handy just in general if you want to create areas, rectangular areas in your code that become buttons or hotspots. You can not draw the rectangle here, so you could comment that out, and the hotspot that I'm about to show you will still be there. So you can actually put rectangle areas over images and things like that. But I'll just leave it on for now. So to create a hotspot, we need to use a condition. So we've been introduced to that already. And the condition needs to check if our mouse is inside the rectangle. So to do that, we first need to see if our mouse x, so the x coordinate of our mouse, is greater than hotspot x. So I'm just going to comment this out for a second and go back to the code for you, the preview for you. What we're asking is if the mouse's x is to the right of this x coordinate, we're to the right of this line. So that means we're in this area somewhere of our screen. We then need to also say and, so we use 2 and symbols to check if multiple things are true. Mouse x is less than hotspot x plus hotspot width. So I'm going to return again back to that image. So if we're greater than the x and we're less than the x plus the width, so less than that point, then we're in between here. So that's true all the way up from top to bottom so far. But we know now that if our mouse is greater than that point and less than that point, on the x-axis we're anywhere in here. Okay, so now we just need to do the rest. So it's pretty much the same, but we're doing it for the y-axis. So we can just continue on, and mouse y is greater than hotspot y, and mouse y is less than hotspot Y plus hotspot height. So it's quite a long condition, but if all of these elements are true, all of these expressions, conditions, testing are true, then we know that we're inside of that rectangle. As you can see, we'll be this way, this way, and that way. So we're contained in that rectangular area. Great. So one way to test that is, let's just say we'll draw some text on the screen. We'll say hello, and we'll say at 100, 100, hello, hello. Okay, we now have a hotspot. So if we're hovering over the top. So clicking now, I've cancelled out, remember that plus, I've commented it out in the mouse function. So what we want to do is we also now, because we want to make it so when we click inside of that, we need to have another condition. So we can have a condition inside of a condition, that's fine, or we can add another and here. But just for the sake of trying to keep it organized, I'm going to put this condition now inside, and we can use the mouse is pressed variable. So remembering from the previous video, mouse is pressed will return true or false depending on whether the mouse is pressed. So I'm going to cut this and paste it inside of here. So now if we're inside of that area and our mouse is pressed, we'll see the word hello. Ooh. So now I'm moving in, it's not happening, but I click, it says hello. So now we've got a hotspot that is also a button. So what we can do is, instead of saying text hello, we can actually say, when we move our mouse in there, make the screen equal to. So we're currently in screen 1, but what we want to say is if we put our mouse inside of that hotspot, and we press the mouse, we want to go so screen equals 2, which will then send us into this area, which is the second screen. So before in the template, you were pretty much saying every time we click the mouse anywhere, add 1 to the screen. So plus is just shorthand for adding 1. Now we can delete that altogether and we can just move around the screen. We could have 2 hotspots, one that sends us to screen 2, like that, and another one, so we could copy that and make a whole new one underneath and send it to screen 5. So we can just set screen to equal where we want to go whenever we want to move around the template. Let's test that out. So we're on page 1, I'm clicking around here, nothing, I'm inside, nothing, I click and we move to page 2. So that's a simple way to show you how to move around the screens. Anytime you want something like a condition or something to happen, you just make the screen equal the screen you want it to go to. So the next thing I wanted to quickly show you in this video is that I want you to start thinking about your layout. So for example, here I click this rectangle, I go to screen 2. Now over here to the far left, you see a line. Now I'm going to move my mouse across and I'm going to cross that line to get to screen 3. I've planned that out because let's say, for example, I'm on page 1 and my hotspot area was here. If I was to click in that area to get to screen 2, then my mouse would already be inside of the place where we need to get to screen 3. So I want you to think about composition, but also transition. So when you transition from page 1 to 2, you could have some action happening around here, some animation, some things going on that you need to move across this way to trigger something else and come back across this way. And so think about where our mouse is in the previous screen and where you need our mouse to go in the next screen. So just a simple example of that is in screen 2. All I'm going to say is if mouse X is less than 100, which is where that line's being drawn from, let's go to screen equals 3 to the next screen. So here, page 1, page 2. Oop, it's not working. Why is that not working? we go. I don't know what happened there. So it is working. We move across here, page 3. And then in page 3, we can make this start to move across to the right. Oops, sorry, I've set this to width instead of height. So page 1, we click here. Oh, we can move across to the left now to get to page 3. And now we're going to make page 3 text animate across the screen. And when it leaves the screen, we'll get to page 4. So page 3. Let's make something else happen. So let's only do this if the mouse is pressed. Actually, no, we can just do this from the beginning. So let's say page 3 text x plus equals 3. So page 1, click, page 2, move, page 3, goes off the screen. And so we'll need to say if page 3 text x is greater than width page screen equals 4. So once again, another condition, testing something, and then moving the screen forward. Page 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think it was text align must be center, set to center here. Yep, center baseline. So we might need to width plus, let's say 100. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you've seen how we can now start to transition in lots of different ways through our page template, Tap Essay template. So have an experiment. What you want to be doing is making sure that you're having lots of potential pathways for your story, which will make it more engaging, and we can go over a fewer amount of screens, but in lots of different ways, which could then, introduce some non-linear storytelling. Okay, thanks a lot.